Bam, what's goody? Baywood here, and today I'm going to show you how to make super crisp and clean vocals that sound professional and sit right on top of the beat perfectly. Let's get right into it. Alright, so I'm going to show you before and after. So here's before.
I'm listening to my raps like I'm studying for math, and I'm thinking, man, it ain't that bad, and I don't sound like trash. But I'm listening to my raps like I'm studying for math, and I'm thinking, man, it ain't that bad, and I don't sound like trash, but I could always.
Alright, so it made it crisp and clean, and now what I want to go over is we have a mastering chain and a vocal preset chain. So without the mastering chain, it sounds like this.
I'm listening to my raps like I'm studying for math, and I'm thinking, man, it ain't that bad, and I don't sound like.
So I want to go over that really crisp sound that you hear. So this is the vocal chain. We're actually using a vocal chain out of the Waves Ultimate preset pack using Waves plugins only, so you can use it on any DAW. But the first thing is we have NS1, which is just a noise gate, getting rid of all background sound. So you just raise that pretty much up.
I'm listening to my raps like I'm studying for math, and I'm thinking, man, it ain't that bad, and I don't sound like trash, but I could always get better.
The next thing we have is this SSLEQ3. What this is doing is this is boosting at the 12K range. This is where you're gonna really get that crisp sound, and it's also gonna add harmonics in it because it's a Waves EQ and it's a solid state Logic SSL. So it's gonna add harmonics to the top end, and we're getting rid of some 3800 range. We're getting rid of some 380 boxiness out of the vocal, and then we are filtering out the lows just to clean it up. The next thing we have is a CLA2A. This is the compressor that's going to make it consistent and sit on top of the beat. Watch what happens without it.
I'm listening to my raps like I'm studying for math, and I'm thinking, man, it ain't that bad, and I don't sound like trash, but I could always get better, better keep the pressure, cause if I stop then I'll never measure up.
So with the NS1, the EQ, and the CLA2A, this is what we have so far.
I'm listening to my raps like I'm studying for math, and I'm thinking, man, it ain't that bad, and I don't sound like trash, but I could always get better, better keep the pressure.
Now what we're doing is we're not trying to make it sit perfectly on top of the beat yet. We're just trying to make it a lot more consistent and cleaned up. And then we have a de-esser next.
Math, and I'm thinking, man, it ain't that bad.
So on this vocal, there was not too many S's, so that's not really activated. But if there's some loud parts where the S's get too loud, it will make sure to bring that down. The most important step to get crisp and clean vocals is this parallel split we have right here, which I will go over. We have the saturation plugin, then we have a reverb plugin, and then we have an API EQ plugin. So let me break this down without this, and I'll turn it on.
I'm listening to my raps like I'm studying for math, and I'm thinking, man, it ain't that bad, and I don't sound like trash, but I could always get better, better keep the pressure, cause if I stop then I'll never measure up. Like a roller coaster ride, never get up to that motherfucking high.
So this plugin is adding harmonics. It's adding it to the low mids of the vocal, and then it's adding it to the top end, the beauty and the beast. This is an amazing plugin to add that tone, as you can hear, and it's just adding so much amazing things to this. It's called Magna BB Tube. So it's a tube amplifier adding harmonics all throughout the vocal, making it super crisp, more full in the areas we want. And then we have a small reverb after it.
Math, and I'm thinking, man, it ain't that bad, and I don't sound like trash, but I could always get better, better keep the pressure, cause if I.
This is just giving the saturation and the tube some space, and you could turn this off or you could turn on depending on what you like. I like a little bit on, and then we're just simply EQing it with the API EQ, not doing much. We're reducing the 800 hertz range just because. Let me turn it up.
Math, and I'm thinking, man, it ain't that bad, and I don't sound like trash, but I could always get better, better keep the pressure, cause if I stop then I'll never measure up. Like a roller coaster ride, never get up to that motherfucking high, but I won't let that motherfucking fly.
So that's just a little bit, but the most important part is that on a parallel split or a bus in Logic, you want to find a certain saturation or distortion and add a small reverb to it. That's the magic here. And then the next thing we have is just a final EQ that you can mess with to really shape the vocal.
The pressure, cause if I stop then I'll never measure up. Like a roller coaster ride.
So we have this set as a dynamic EQ. So that way, like around here at the 4, around 2K range, when it gets a bit too loud, it's ducking it a little bit, but not always taking it out. So that's what a dynamic EQ is doing. So you can mess around with these at the end of the vocal chain or at the beginning. Some presets we use at the beginning or end to give it a different sound. But the most important for crisp and clean vocals is that you don't do too much. You EQ a little bit, get rid of some mud and stuff like that. Then you add a compressor that's going to make it super consistent. And then you're adding a bus or parallel split to a saturation, a distortion, something to add harmonics to the vocal and add a small reverb, and watch the magic that happens. You can usually get crisp and clean vocals. This is my go-to method for this. And then if I want to make the vocal a little bit louder, I can use this final level adjustment.
I'm listening to my raps like I'm studying for math, and I'm thinking, man, it ain't that bad, and I don't sound like trash, but I could always get better.
Nice. And then we have this mastering chain. So let's break this down, what this is doing. I'll do it on and off again.
I'm listening to my raps like I'm studying for math, and I'm thinking, man, it ain't that bad.
So we got this parallel split. We have this set to side, so this means the left and right. We have an imager, so this is adding more stereo depth to the song, making it wider on the sides, the left and right, which is very powerful. Next, we have an EQ, and we're just reducing the 680. This is where you can get a lot of mud in your songs, and then we're boosting a little bit at the 2.2K range, but you can mess with this to find what you like more. And then at the 10K range, we're just boosting a little bit to make it a little more crisp. The next thing we have is a de-esser, a slight de-esser. Since we're going for that crisp, clean sound, we want to always make sure when we're adding a lot of crispiness that we're making sure that the S's are secured and not annoying.
Math, and I'm thinking, man, it ain't that bad, and I don't sound like trash, but I could always get better.
So this is not getting to that level where it's needed, but it's there just in case. So next we have a limiter, and then we have the VLM meter. So what we want to do is open up this VLM meter, and we want to see the levels. Our goal is to get it to -9.
Math, and I'm thinking, man, it ain't that bad, and I don't sound like trash, but I could always get better.
It's at -13, -14, so we can increase this limiter about 5 more decibels. So we're gonna go to -7.
I'm listening to my raps like I'm studying for math, and I'm thinking, man, it ain't that bad, and I don't sound like trash, but I could always get better. Better keep the pressure, cause if I stop, then I'll never measure up. Like a roller coaster ride.
Nice. So then when we master, then we can go back to the vocal chain and further tweak it some more to get that clean, crisp sound.
I'm listening to my raps like I'm studying for math, and I'm thinking, man, it ain't that bad, and I don't sound like trash, but I could always get better. Better keep the pressure, cause if I stop, then I'll never measure up. Like a roller coaster ride, never get up to that motherfucking high, but I won't let that motherfucking fly.
So without the vocal chain and mastering chain,
Wouldn't be me, I was raised better, so better bet on me. But I'm trying to obtain a different treasure, you know what I mean. That means I have to try different things you see. I gotta try different flows indeed.
so this preset is called Crisp Clarity from our Waves Ultimate Vocal preset. Now this is using the plugins from the Waves Ultimate plugin subscription, so you can get it literally for like $24 a month with a 7-day free trial, and then use all of our Waves presets without worrying what plugins you got to get. You get all of their plugins, so I highly suggest that. And then on the master, I'm actually using Crisp Transients from our Master Sauce 2 preset pack for Waves. So it comes with 25 different mastering chains, so you can go through all these, try them all out, find the ones that you like, and really level up your mixes and get that clean and crisp sound that you've been looking for. Now, as you may realize, in order to get a crisp and clean vocal mix, you need to have clean vocal recording. You can't just have a low quality vocal recording and expect to make it clean and crisp. It should sound good without any mixing. It should sound clean. So if you are trying to achieve that, make sure you have a clean vocal recording and then mix after. You're just doing small adjustments to take it to that next level, add a little bit more crispness, clean it up a little bit, make it a little bit more consistent, and add a little bit of saturation with a small reverb, and you'll get that crisp and clean sound. I will have all the links to everything you need if you're interested in getting these packs down below. If you have any questions, please comment them down below. Make sure to smash that subscribe button for more videos just like this, and to follow me on my journey of getting just better at music, releasing original music, and sharing the new things that I learn about mixing, mastering, production down below. So I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.